everybody and welcome back to another session with Dr. Papori Barooah. Here I am before you with the second part of parts of speech. Today I would like to talk about the different parts of speech and how we can identify them in a particular sentence. Hence, let's start. First of all, of course, comes nouns. When we talk about nouns, what are they? Nouns are anything that we see around us, as you remember from the last lesson I had with you. Hence, let us just try and bring back to our memory what we talked about nouns in the last session. First of all, nouns are whatever you can name is a noun. Secondly, everything that you see around you is a noun. Say a boy, a girl, a desk, a bench, a pencil, whatever. Or say anything that you can make a plural. Boy, boys, girl, girls, all of them are nouns. Hence, if you do not go to the definition of the noun, all we can say is that whatever you see around you, they are all nouns. If you can name them, they are all nouns. You name it and it's a noun. And when we talk about lessons in the schools, we have, various types of nouns that we talk about, like concrete nouns. We have countable, uncountable nouns, common nouns. Now, in this particular session, I would like to concentrate more on the different nouns, but not on the types of nouns, but the focus is on trying to find out which are the nouns in a sentence. But just to give you an idea of what they are, let me show them around. The first type is known as a concrete noun. So it can be a common noun, like it can be, say for instance, a cat, and it can be the name of the cat which becomes the proper noun. So concrete nouns can be like car, dog, Richard, London, Ravi, things like that. When we talk about abstract noun, you try to get it from the word itself. Abstract, something that you cannot touch. So that is something like, joy, happiness, love. You can feel it. Those are the abstract nouns there. Countable and uncountable nouns, like we can count how many pens are there, how many books are there. So those are countable nouns. But if we talk about water, we talk about rice, or sand, you cannot count them. They are uncountable nouns there. Collective nouns, like when we talk about many things coming together into one, like we talk about a classroom, or say you talk about a school, right? So an army, when we cannot count them, but many individuals coming together, but we have a cover term for everything, that is a collective noun. Compound noun, like for instance blackboard, or we can talk about classmate. Black plus board. Black is a noun, board is a noun. Both of them together come together and form a compound, and hence we have the compound noun there. Possessive noun, like for instance you're talking about something belonging to somebody, someone's possessions, and hence it is a possessive noun, like the boy's bag, the girl's flower, things like that. Or say regular plural nouns, say whenever we're talking about the noun, one main characteristic is that we can make a plural of that particular word, means we can talk about it as more than one. So the normal example I refer to is the word beautiful. We cannot have beautifuls, but we can have cars, and hence they are known as plural nouns. Irregular nouns, like we have men, women, or people, feet, foot, feet, teeth, tooth. Those are also known as irregular plural nouns. But in this particular session, I'm not concerned in trying to explain to you the different varieties of nouns. I'm more concerned in trying to help you identify in a particular sentence which are the nouns there. And hence it's important to let you know which are the indicators that show you that they are nouns, right? So for instance, if I have an article, say A, I have a. So after that there should be something, and that something is a noun. I have a bag, I have a car, I have a dog, things like that. Now apart from that, we also need to realize that there are some word endings. That means the last part of the word can indicate whether it is a noun in origin. Right. I'm showing you a few of them. Say for instance, the ending of ation, like in the word relation, relation. tion ending words, it is a noun there. It has to be a noun there. Or say termination, or say vacation. These are ending in ation. All of them are actually nouns. Let us now go through the other word endings which indicate that they are all nouns there. Like dom, Christendom, right? Or say freedom, or say kingdom. And again say er, dancer. Say we have painter, reader, er ending words are also nouns. We can always tell readers, writers, so er ending words, and it has an s also. It also proves it can be pluralized, and hence it is also a noun there. Or say hood, falsehood, motherhood, likelihood. ISM, like for instance socialism, ISM ending words are always nouns there. IST, racist, right? Or say nationalist, IST ending words are nouns there. ITY, charity, identity, these words are nouns. NES is very common word, very common word ending, like kindness or watchfulness, right? Friendliness. All of these words are nouns because they have this NESS ending at the end, right? Or OR, author, doctor, these are also nouns there. EE, trainee or drawee, addressee, right? These words which end in the EE are also nouns. So now you know, whenever in a word, whenever in a sentence you have a word which ends with any of these, they have to be nouns there. Now let us go to a sentence now. Let us try it out there in another way to recognize, apart from nouns, what other parts of speech we all need to know, we all should know. Like in this sentence, Ravi is the boy. Who is the boy that you're talking about? Ravi is the boy. So in this sentence, I can replace Ravi with the word he. Okay, Ravi is the name of somebody, hence Ravi is a noun, and I'm replacing Ravi with the word he. Again in this sentence, Ravi has a big car. So I can replace Ravi. Okay, Ravi is a noun and car can be made cars. Therefore, it is also a noun. A big car can be replaced with the word it. Hence, Ravi and car. A big car can be replaced like this. That is, he has it. It, he. All of these are coming in place of a noun. By now you know it. They are all pronouns. So what is a pronoun? If you remember from the last lesson I talked to you or whatever. So a pronoun is a word that comes in place of a noun, and the pro in pronoun means in place of. Alright, so some pronouns he, she, they, it, him, himself, themselves, things like that. Those words are always pronouns, and pronouns have also various kinds of pronouns, like I hit myself. I, pronoun, hit myself. It's talking about me only. The myself is talking about me. He hit himself. So himself is also talking about he. So those words are reflecting back on the pronoun I, on the pronoun he. So those words are pronouns which have the name reflexive pronoun. Or I say, there is my house. The word there is demonstrating where my house is. The word that there is a demonstrative pronoun. Alright, also the house there. Things like that. Or say, we have possessive pronouns. This is mine. Okay, say I have a book and I tell, okay, this book is mine. Means it is showing my possession. It's a possessive pronoun. So pronouns are of various types, and I always tell you we also have words like WH words, who, what, where, how, even how. WHO, HOW, both of them are WH words there. When, which, where, all of these can act like interrogative pronouns. Where are you going? Right? So things like that. So these are all known as pronouns, which normally come in place of a noun there. And the next part of speech we talked about, and we're continuing to talk, is adjectives. Now what are adjectives? If you talk about this particular sentence, the boy has a car. I've underlined it for you and made it very easy. Which are the nouns there? Boy and car. Boy is a noun, one thing, because it can be pluralized. I can tell boys. I can also pluralize a car. I can tell cars. But the second thing that proves that it is a noun is that there's an article before it. The boy, a car. The is an article, a is an article there. Hence, these are all nouns there. Now, if I tell the handsome boy, so what am I doing? I am talking about the boy who is handsome. I could have told the ugly boy or the irritating boy. Any word that comes before the noun is an adjective which describes the noun there. Or say the handsome boy has a beautiful car. So beautiful is talking about what type of car. It's a beautiful car, and hence it is an adjective. Now we can still go on further, and I try to increase the number of adjectives in that particular, before the particular noun. I can tell the handsome, smart, attractive, intelligent boy has a sparkling, shiny, long and beautiful car. So I've used so many adjectives before the noun there. The noun boy and before the noun car. So the idea is that how many adjectives can we actually use before a noun? We can use infinite number of adjectives, but we are now talking about actually how many you use. Normally, I guess 3, not more than that. But if we have normally when we talk about exams and academics, we might be given, say, a sentence where there are many adjectives, and then comes in the idea of the royal order of the adjectives. How many adjectives can be there? Infinite. How can they be there in a sentence? What is the order they follow? What comes before what and what? And this is known as the royal order of the adjectives. Right. So what is the royal order of the adjectives? That means which adjective will come first. Say I'm talking about the first one is a determiner. Now what is a determiner? You know, when it's talking about something that comes before the noun and articles and pronouns like the, car, things like that, those are determiners. The first comes the determiner. Secondly comes the second thing that comes is the observation or your opinion. Like he's original, he's appealing, the shop is cheap, things like that. These words, appealing, cheap, these words are giving my opinion about that particular thing, and hence they are known as my observation or my opinion. So let us call it observation. First comes the determiner, second comes the observation. The third comes the size. It's small, big, regular, medium, pizza, we're talking about things like that, and hence it is the size. And the next comes the age, right? Say he's young, he's old, he's new, this this house is new, things like that. The next in sequence comes the shape, whether it's, say, rectangular in shape, the square in shape, round in shape. So next is the shape. After that comes the color, red, yellow, blue, green. Then comes the origin. So this is like Indian or Persian or American. So when you talk about, say, a new Persian rug, so what comes first? What will come? New will come first, a Persian new rug. Okay? Or say material, whether it's silk or it's copper or it's paper, those words will also be coming in that sequence. And the last one is a qualifier. Say it's something like it's an integral part of the noun itself. Things like it's a wedding dress or it's a race car. Exactly, it qualifies or shows what that particular noun is. Now there's so many of them. And how can you actually put it into your head? One very easy way to remember is something that I just now discovered, is that try to get the word into your head. What I have tried to put in here is dosas, COMQ. D for determiner, O for observation, S for size, A for age, and S for shape, COMQ, C for color, O for origin, M for material, and of course Q for qualifier. This way you'll remember it very well, but of course we also need to remember there's so many adjectives in between. You might be confused. Shall we put comma in between them? We normally do not put a comma in between those series of adjectives before a noun there. And however, even though they follow, so many, there are so many sequences that they follow. One good idea or one good fact for us is that normally it comes very naturally to all of us. We normally do not subvert the order when we try and we use it without knowing that we are using it correctly. And secondly, normally, as I just referred some time back, we do not normally use more than 3 adjectives to describe something. Okay, now let us just try and let me explain before you a few of those orders. Like say for instance, quantity. What is quantity? How much? How many? Example, say 21 or half, whole, etc. Like in this sentence, I want to order 3 medium pizzas. So the 3 will come first because it's the quantity, and medium pizzas. Or here are 21 happy children. 21 is a number, it's how much, talking about how much. So it will come first. After that, whatever will come will follow. So first in the order will be the determiner, if there's a the or a her or she or whatever. And second, in fact, is a how much or how many. Now again, when we talk about opinion, that means how do we feel about it, whether it's tasty, whether he or she is weak, healthy. So hence we have, say for instance, the earlier sentence I had used, I ordered 3 medium pizzas. Now remember, we don't tell pizza, it's pizza. There is a silent t there without actually it being there in the spelling. So you call it pizza. So I ordered, now I am using one more. The second thing that will come in, I have used here my opinion. What is my opinion? It's a cheesy pizza. So I have ordered 3 cheesy medium pizzas. So that is the order that will be. Or say for instance, here are 21, my opinion, healthy, happy children. Similarly, let's go talk about the other, order of adjective, the size, right? So for instance, I ordered 3 cheesy, tasty, medium pizzas. So medium is the 4th thing that will come in. That means we are talking about the size. The size is the 4th in the sequence if you leave out the first one, which is the determiner. Okay. Or say here are 21 healthy, happy, little children. Again, the size is coming in the 4th. Now, before we go on, I would like to say that I will be dealing in detail with the next part of speech, that is the verbs, with a separate chapter after this, because it really is the most important element in a sentence. Without a verb, you cannot have a sentence, and just a single verb can form a sentence. So I'm leaving this for the next part or the next lesson. Let us now go to adverbs. What are adverbs? As you remember, if you remember from my last lesson, in most ly ending words are adverbs, but there are of course exclusions there and some exceptions are there. But otherwise, like the word generally, originally, ly ending words normally are adverbs. But we should also see what that particular word is talking about. So let us now try and analyze whether all ly ending words are adverbs or not, or in fact, which is an adverb and how is it different from an adjective. Okay, now what actually does an adverb talk about? Like in this sentence, he can sing. One full sentence, he is a pronoun, can sing. So which is the verb there? Can sing, but the main verb is sing. Now in this sentence, if I ask, how can he sing? The answer I get, he can sing well. So he can sing well. The word well, how can he sing? The word well is telling us more about sing. And sing is a verb. So an adverb tells us more about the verb. Well is an adverb. Now, how well, if I ask you, I continue asking and I ask you, how well does he sing? So the answer is, he can sing very well. He can sing very well. Then the word very is talking about, not about sing, but how well. And well is an adverb. Very is talking more about well. Very is an adverb. Just to give you an extra bit of information, very, always, no, not never, these are always adverbs. So we are talking about one thing, adverbs normally talk about a verb and adverbs also talk about another adverb. Now look at this beautiful picture of Dubai. And Dubai is a beautiful city. So the city of Dubai is beautiful. And I ask, how beautiful? The answer will be, it's very beautiful, very beautiful. So the word very is talking about the word beautiful. And you know, the city of Dubai is beautiful. So the word beautiful is describing the city. And city is a noun because I can make cities. Therefore, the word beautiful is talking about city. City is a noun. Any word that tells us more about a noun is an adjective. And of course, one more way, if you remember from the last lesson, one more way to recognize an adjective is that whether you have an opposite word. Of course, beautiful, opposite word, ugly. Any word that has an opposite word is an adjective. Now, if I tell you, if you look at this entire sentence, the city of Dubai is very beautiful. The word very is talking about beautiful. Beautiful is an adjective, and the word very, as you know, is always an adverb. And it is telling us more about the word beautiful. It is another adverb. And hence, the adverb will talk firstly about a verb, secondly about another adverb, and thirdly about an adjective. Now let us try to find out whether it is an adverb or adjective. Now in this sentence, Shyam is slow. He works slowly. Now the word slow is telling us about how Shyam is. Shyam is the name of a person. It is a noun. And hence the word slow is an adjective. Now in this sentence, he works slowly. How does he work? How does he work? He works slowly. Slowly is telling us about works. Works is a verb, hence slowly is an adverb. In the second sentence, Sashi is a careful girl. Now, the word careful is telling us about, it is coming between an article and a noun, and hence it has to be an adjective. Further, it is also telling us more about the girl or more about Sashi. And these are all nouns. Any word that tells us more about a noun is an adjective. She climbed up the ladder carefully. How did she climb? Climb is a verb. How did she climb? Carefully. It's an adverb. And furthermore, it is ending in ly. This is an adverb. Again, the dog is angry. The dog is, how is the dog? It is describing the dog. It is angry. It is an adjective. It barks angrily, right? So how does it bark? It barks angrily, and hence it is an ending in ly also. It is an adverb. In this sentence, he sang excellently. How did he sing? Sing is a verb, and it is talking about, the word excellently is telling us how he sang. It is telling us about a verb, and hence it is an adverb. He is an excellent singer, and here what we have is an excellent singer between an article and a noun, because I can make singers, it's a noun, and hence this excellent is an adjective. We could learn French easily. How could we learn French? Easily. Ending in ly. Talking about our learning French, could learn, it's a verb, therefore it's an adverb. We found French an easy language, right? So what type of language? Easy. It's talking about more about language. I can make languages. It's a noun. Anything that tells us about a noun, adjective. So last one, he is very active. How is he? He is a pronoun. Any word that tells us more about a noun or a pronoun, this is an adjective. But he participates actively, which is the verb, participates. How does he participate? Actively, it is an adverb. So, one more of course is there. It is awfully cold today. The cold wind is awful. The awfully, how, it is awfully cold. How cold is it? Alright. So here it is describing how cold it is. Is a verb. And hence this one is an adverb. Furthermore, it's ending in ly. And of course, awful is an adjective. Now let us go to the next one. We talked about earlier, talking about prepositions. And when we talk about prepositions, preposition, position before a noun or a pronoun or a phrase. Now the idea is that when we talk about prepositions, there are hundreds of prepositions. However, it is a closed group. Means you cannot add more prepositions to it. Now the whole concept is to try and put it into your head that the prepositions are used in a manner to give a meaning to the sentence. Hence you just cannot use the prepositions. When you read it, the meaning that comes to your head should be perfect for the prepositions to be perfect. Now let us try and find out how we can possibly solve the problem of using what type of prepositions where. And the basic thing, remember, is all about perception. There are no proper rules. But of course, you can still memorize a few points, like we're talking about what to use before the month, what to use before dates, or say what to use before Friday, Sunday, Saturday, days of the week. So those few things you can always have it in your back of your head there. But of course, always it's how you feel about the sentence, whether the sentence makes proper meaning as you want it to mean. So say for instance, in this sentence, I want you in the house immediately. When I tell you, I want you in the house, in is a preposition. Now, in the house immediately means I want you inside the house. But in place of that, if I tell you I want you on the house immediately, first of all, it doesn't make proper sense. Secondly, it actually means this. You're on the top of the house there, and which is completely absurd unless you want to do some repairing work on the top. So when you tell a sentence, you try and understand, try to get the feel, the feel of it. Whether it is actually using that preposition is actually conveying what you want to convey to the listener, you being the speaker. Okay. Now let us try and remember a few things so that it becomes easier for us. Commonly used prepositions, so that when we use them, we are perfectly correct. Say for instance, when we talk about months, okay, or seasons or centuries, there are few things which are fixed. Those prepositions are a must. Like I first met John, I'm talking about the year, say 1987, there will always be a in before a year. Or say when we talk about months of the year, there'll always be in. It's always cold in January. Or we're talking about seasons, it will always be in. Easter falls in spring each year. Or Second World War occurred in the 20th century. Centuries will also take an in there before. We eat breakfast in the morning. We're talking about the times of the day. Alright. Then also there will be an in. So where do you normally have ins? Months, seasons, centuries and times of the day. We always use in. But when we are talking about specific days, specific dates, specific holidays, we use on. Like we go to school on Mondays, or Christmas is on December 25th, right? You might feel there's December there, but there is a 25th after it, and that's a date, and hence it is an on and not an in, like in January. But there's a date there, and hence it will be on. Or buy me a present on my birthday. It's a special day and hence it is on my birthday and not in my birthday. So prepositions can be memorized this way, just a few of them. Now let us go on to the next part, the conjunctions. The first conjunction I would like to talk about: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Now how do you normally remember them? The very easy way of remembering: use the word fanboys. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So these are your first conjunctions there. Now the next type of conjunctions are these: after, although, as if, as long as, because, before, in order, rather, since, unless, until, whenever, right, where, whereas. These are some words which will introduce a subordinate clause, right? That means they are bringing together two sentences, because conjunctions are always bringing together sentences. They're bringing together two sentences which are not equal in weight. Like for this fanboys say, they are using sentences like I went to the zoo and he went to the market. So I went to the zoo is actually equal in value to he went to the zoo or market, whatever. So I am joining both of them with and. But when I talk about these type of conjunctions, the two sentences will not be equal. Like I can tell, say, although he is famous, he is not happy. Now, although he is famous, one verb is there, is. The other part, he is not happy. Another verb is there, is. So two verbs are there, in fact two sentences sort of. But the first part is dependent on meaning on the other part. And hence it is below the other part. And hence it is subordinate to the other part. And hence it is a subordinate clause. And these words will always introduce the subordinate clause in a sentence. And these are known as subordinating conjunctions. The last part, of course, both, and, not only, but also, not, but, either or, neither nor. These words are known as correlative. That means almost equal in value. Both the sentences are in a way interrelated, and hence they are correlative. Now when we do more sentences, we'll come to know more of it. But now I'm just giving you a basic idea of what they are. And the last, and of course the easiest to remember, is interjection. As I always say, or I said in the last chapter, it is like something which has an exclamatory mark after it, and it's something, sudden expression of something. But we need to remember it always after the exclamatory mark, it begins with a capital letter. But there are a few exclamatory words which are not very strong, like, oh, I was sad that day. Oh, it's not like wow. When I tell fantastic or I tell wow, then there is an exclamatory mark after that. But if I tell, oh, I was sad that day, there can just be a comma. So it's not necessary that after every interjection there will be an exclamatory mark. As somewhat softer feelings are there, then there's just a comma. So with this, actually, I come to the end of this chapter on the second part of speech, and I would like to continue with the next part, where I'll be dealing or focusing more on the verbs in the English language, and we'll talk about the gerund, the participle, which are they are not verb, they are verbs, but they do not act like a verb. So these are very interesting topics. We'll talk more about it in the next lesson, which will be part 3 of parts of speech. I hope it was an interesting session, and I hope you actually fell in love with grammar, because grammar is so easy, and you put it into your system, you try to understand it and enjoy grammar lessons with me. I hope you enjoyed it thoroughly. Thank you.